Free Comic Book Day Mini-Con is coming the first Saturday in May, May 2nd. We are giving away 20,000 comics, way more than we gave away last year. Plus, we have Free Comic Book Day month, which entitles you to free stuff all month long. Free Comic Book Day is May 2nd. We've got a ton of guests down here, and we're going to have John Marcotte of Heroic Girls. So we've got Free Comic Book Day coming May 2nd. We've got 20,000 comics to give out. We've got Supreme Pro Wrestling. You've got West Coast Avengers, all kinds of writers and artists. And joining us that day will be John Marcotte of Heroic Girls. Welcome, John.
Thank you. Yeah, we're going to have a table graciously donated by Empire's Comics Vault. We're setting up a booth to help promote comic books as a good role model for little girls, superheroes in particular. So we're going to be talking to kids. Bring your kids down. We'd love to see them. We're going to start a book club. We're going to have a comic book reading club for kids and young girls. And we're also going to be interviewing female fans to just find out what they like about comic books, why they are attracted to superheroes, not physically attracted, but what attracts them as far as role models, why superheroes are important and why they inspire. I guess that's the way we'll put it.
You got me laughing. I'm trying not to stop you. So then Heroic Girls, just tell us a little bit about what it is. It's heroicgirls.com. You can find it easy.
Yeah. Well, I have two little girls. It was my Heroic Girls was inspired by my Heroic Girls. I have Anya and Stella, who are superhero-loving little girls, and they got really into comic books because I'm really into comic books. And we started looking at what kinds of things are there out there for girls, and they started cosplaying and got kind of internet famous. Gail Simone is a big fan of theirs. Kelly Sue DeConnick was a big fan and sent pictures of them all over the net. And also, I'm a professional writer, and I've written some stuff for the Huffington Post on gender and superheroes and why superheroes are good for little girls, and that kind of led to I recently did a TEDx talk here in Sacramento about superheroes and girls and why they're good for little girls. And so that all kind of just congealed into one thing, and so we've built this community around the idea that superheroes are good role models for girls. Geek culture can be empowering for girls. Certainly we have problems there too, but don't let the haters keep you down. There's so much good stuff happening in the world of comics with women and girls, and we need to promote that because I don't think girls think to go into comic shops like Empire's, and not as much as they should. So we need outreach. We need to get out there and let them know that there is this material here for them. Mm-hmm. It's so much better than the Disney princess type of material or Barbie. There are better role models for girls, and a lot of those better role models are found right here in the comic shop. And you just need, someone to maybe reach out and say, "Hey, here it is. Why don't you take a look?"
Well, and that's why Heroic Girls is a great place because you've literally got everything there. You'll put up books that you think are great jump-on points for young readers or just women in general.
Right.
And your TEDx talk is up there too, so you guys can see it, and we'll link it for you too, where you can see you can really see what John's capable of there. So on Free Comic Book Day, you're going to be down here talking with the kids, the young women, and you mentioned something about a book club.
Yeah, we wanted to start. We thought we'd start locally, even though Heroic Girls as a web presence, so it's really more of a national and kind of international thing. I get emails from people in England and things like that saying, "Oh, I love what you're doing." But we're based here in Sacramento, and so we thought let's instead of being a virtual presence, let's be a real world presence. I'm hoping that we can find 5 to 10 young girls that are interested in comics, and we can start a book club of promoting the love of reading. Comic books are such an excellent way to get kids to read. They don't get enough credit for that. People, sometimes teachers think it's not real reading. There is no such thing as not real reading. There's just reading, and comic books are a great way to do that. I mean, there's brilliant stuff by people like Neil Gaiman or Gail Simone that is every bit as good as the books that they will find that may not have pictures. Don't be scared by pictures. Just because they have beautiful and brilliant art does not mean that somehow the words are lesser. The comic books are a fantastic medium, and we'd like to start girls encouraging that love of both reading and the comics medium in general. And so we're going to try to see if we can, get 10 names on the dotted line to start a book club here in Sacramento.
And that would be great because if it's something that works with your connections on Heroic Girls, and around the world, it's a model that could be used to start up and use the techniques that you do to get these kids in.
And we have relationships with some of the artists and writers. Those are people that like Heroic Girls, and that we've had success in reaching out to them and saying, hey, not only we're reading this, but the girls have questions about this book. Would you answer 10 questions put out by these girls that are reading your book? And they've been very receptive to that type of outreach. So you can't promise anything because you never know how busy they are or anything like that. But we're looking not just to read a book and walk home, but to talk about them, talk about the literary themes. Really in kind of make it a learning experience and a more interactive experience than just here's a book, read it, and show up, and we'll have pie at the end.
Now, for anybody watching this, before we even do the book club, what would be 3 great picks for young girls to pick up?
3 great picks for young girls to pick up. Well, the first one that I would recommend for any kid, and pretty much any adult too, is Bone by Jeff Smith. It is I think, without a doubt in my mind, the best children's book in the comic format to come out in decades. It's just a fantastic book. We're going to find it.
It's right there, and you can get the entire thing.
You can get the entire thing, and they have it. Oh, this is the black and white, which is the original. This is the way I read Bone. Bone starts out as a kind of a lighthearted romp with a lot of silly characters, and it's fun. And by the end of it, you realize that you have been sucked into something that is akin to the Lord of the Rings. It's this epic, sprawling fantasy that is just fantastic and has depth, and he's created this rich world with all this backstory that is implied that you want to know more about, much like Tolkien did. Bone should be on everyone's bookshelf, adult or kid, but if you have a kid especially, this is something you can read with your kids and you're going to love it. Bone by Jeff Smith.
All right, so there's one.
There's one.
What's
you're going to make me come up with 3. It's
not going to be hard.
No, it's not going to be hard.
And I love the fact that he used the word romp.
Romp.
It's so much fun.
Well, romp. The second one I'm going to recommend is something a little bit newer, is Miss Marvel, the new book by G. Willow Wilson. It's a superhero comic put out by Marvel Comics, and Miss Marvel is the first mainstream female Muslim superhero ever created. And what's great about the book is she is a modern-day Peter Parker, a teenager that is endowed with superpowers. Is keeping it from her family, but has the same type of real-world troubles and issues that conflict with her superheroic duties that made everybody love Spider-Man so much. It was a surprise hit. I don't think anybody at Marvel thought that this book was going to
the level that it's gone.
Going to be. I don't think anyone was predicting that Muslim superheroes were going to take off. It is a fantastic book. Really the type of book that I think a lot of kids can relate to, because she's an outsider, and that's something that everyone feels like sometimes, especially kids as they transition from being a kid maybe into a teenager. That feeling of, I'm different than everybody else, I don't fit in. You get to explore all those issues in this fun comics format with a little action and adventure, and also her sense of family, that though they have these disagreements and everything else, exploring that home life and how important family is to her is also another big chunk of the book that really works well.
And she loves Wolverine.
And she loves Wolverine. She is a fangirl that loves superheroes, and when she becomes one and gets to meet the superheroes, she geeks out completely.
Still the fangirl.
She geeks out completely. She writes fan fiction about romances that the superheroes have. And
does she know Wolverine's dead?
I don't know if she knows. I don't know if they brought that up in the book. She met Wolverine, teamed up with him, and then she had to tell him that her fan fiction of his romance with Jean Grey was number 3 on the website. I can't remember who the number 1 was, but he wanted to kill himself after hearing it.
Awesome.
Something with Cyclops, probably. He's boring.
Agreed. Thank you, John.
But he has a book out right now. Who's remember Ruck is writing it?
He was, but not anymore.
Okay. Well, the last glimmer of hope for me ever reading anything about Cyclops just disappeared. Greg Ruck is no longer writing him.
So give me a third one. Give me one more for people.
I'm trying to spread genre because I thought of Amulet, which is very Bone-like though. So I'm trying to think.
What about Lumberjanes?
Oh, Lumberjanes. Oh, okay. Thank you, Ben. Lumberjanes. You know what I a minute ago? I'm doing doing fancy hand gestures. Lumberjanes is a fantastic all-ages book. The first collection came out, or hasn't come out. It came out last week. Came out last week. That's why I didn't think of it, because it hadn't been collected in a trade. Lumberjanes is I think this is probably another surprise hit. I don't think, I think the plan was to end it after 8 issues.
Yeah, and we're on like 11.
And we're on issue 11 because it is so fantastically good. It is a story about a group of lumberjane scouts, which are kind of like Girl Scouts. They're at the kind of camp that you would go away to for the summer. So they have minimal parental involvement, in fact, none. They're run by, but they're having adventures in the woods, and they get involved in a mythological battle between the gods, and none of the other people, the grown-ups, know that this is happening. So the lumberjanes have to basically save the world, and they're very self-reliant, and different types of girls. You know, they give they have different experiences, different strengths. They're not afraid to show them having flaws. It's not like they all have to be pretty and perfect. Mm-hmm. This is a group of rough and tumble girls that have taken it upon themselves to have these fantastic adventures. It's just really, really a tremendous amount of fun. In the back of every issue of the first 8 issues there, they actually put a little 1 page that's a mixed CD tape outside case, and it has a bunch of like cool girl power songs that the authors recommend. My girls went and found every single one of these songs and downloaded them and made those mixed CDs, and they love listening to them in the car. So all of a sudden my girls are like Stevie Nicks and Joan Jett fans, and they
how awesome is that?
It has it's a great book. As far as just sheer joy and fun, I think it's really, really hard to beat Lumberjanes. It's a very frenetic book. It goes like this, and it might be hard to tell what's going on the first issue or so, but definitely try out Lumberjanes. That collected edition, again, should probably be on every kid's shelf if you're under the age of 10.
And the entire creative team on that are women, correct?
The entire creative team on that are women, which is not as unusual anymore. Comic books used to be an almost all boys club. You know, every now and then you would have Louise Simonson or somebody like that, but almost all the creators were men. Now today we have so many great female creators. I mean, I would start listing, but it would be embarrassing because I'll leave people out. But Gail Simone, Kelly Sue DeConnick, Fiona Staples on the art side, Noelle Stevenson from Lumberjanes, and I'm going to forget the other people on Lumberjanes. You know, it's just there are whole books that are front to back female created. There are women working on major titles that are working on the biggest comics in there. Mm-hmm. Kelly Sue DeConnick did a nice run on the Avengers, and I think that's what it took for the industry to broaden and start making the type of comics that will appeal to girls, is getting women and girls involved in making the comics on the back end. It's no longer the case that it's a bunch of old white guys sitting around going, I don't know, what do you think 12-year-old girls like? We have a lot of women and girls that are involved in the back end in making these comics, and it is really starting to say in the product. They've diversified tremendously. The new Batgirl, the Batgirl of Burnside, is a much lighter, fun, more all ages take on Batgirl. It's not all grim and dark and gritty. And it definitely is just designed to appeal to women. Marvel has launched, 15, 16?
They have got a ton of solo books for women.
Yeah, Marvel has launched, I believe it's 15 books that feature women as the primary protagonist. A pretty good chunk of them are created by women, and they are really pushing out there and saying, we have books that will appeal to you, that are role models that women and girls can adopt. So the comic book industry is really reaching out, and they're trying to figure out how they can, after years of having comic book stores that were kind of dark, dank places that were not particularly friendly for women or girls to go into, how they can lure them back into the shops and say, we have something for you, it's so good, you just need to come in and see it.
And it's been working.
It's really
been working.
Ben can speak to that.
So, John, where can they find you online?
Website is heroicgirls.com. The Facebook hash is facebook.com/theheroicgirls, because someone else is sitting on Heroic Girls and not doing anything with it. But and we're on Twitter under @HeroicGirls. I just started an Instagram thing, and every social media out there. We're doing it all, but probably follow me on Facebook, because I'll eventually lose interest and ignore the other ones. That's what I'll say.
All right,
there.
So Facebook and heroicgirls.com.
And heroicgirls.com.
And you guys can come down and see John on the 2nd here at Free Comic Book Day. And learn more about the book club, get some more info on what he has going on, and meet the girls.
Yeah, the girls will be here too.
All right, well, thank you for coming down, John.
Thank you.